All right, we are live. How's it going, Justin? Good to see you as always, you crazy looking behemoth with the hair.
It's going well. It's going well. Hanging in there. Someone messaged me on at work today. We were in like a big meeting and they messaged me like privately, one of my coworkers, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What?" Yeah. And they're like, "You look like you're letting yourself go." I'm like, "Yep." Like the beard, the hair, what's going on?
Letting yourself go. Oh,
Especially with like when I first started there, I had like no beard, obviously, and like, super short hair.
right.
Just letting it go.
I just have Thursday night football up here, hoping that my two performance parlay hits. I need a T.Y. Hilton touchdown
No.
and a Derrick Henry touchdown.
Did Jeremy,
Yeah,
he didn't get to you though before you did it?
no, I did it already.
Yeah. He said, I will not let you pick
I
T.Y.
will
Hilton,
not let you
not
do
let you bet on T.Y. Hilton.
it. I don't know, man. It could happen. So, all right, MJ was going to join us, but he's on a quote light walk with his lovely lady
I
Danielle.
can't tell
So,
if light walk is like exercise or if they're
yeah.
walking and there's like some type of lights or if he
Oh, right.
misspelled
Oh, I
or
didn't
if
think
he
about that.
misspelled night.
We're coming to the season there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
know.
so COVID, that's still happening. And
It's
it's
happening even more
ravaging
now.
the NCAA and the NFL, but mostly college football, I would think. Um, So I guess my first question would be, what kind of pressure do we think the NCAA has right now in trying to handle this or even just kind of abandon ship right now?
I mean, I think that some of the schools like the Big Ten screwed up and they waited too long to start their season and they didn't give enough wiggle room as far as like when some of these other schools started. I think ACC started pretty early. Um, yeah, because Notre Dame's in the ACC this year for football, for example. They had like a COVID deal with Notre Dame. They had built-in bye weeks, so they took 2 weeks off,
Right.
like a buffer, and then they're right back into the games. The Big Ten schedule doesn't have that buffer anymore because they waited so long. So now teams like Wisconsin and Ohio State are having to like cancel games without rescheduling. I can't imagine come January or whenever the playoffs going to be, like I can't imagine that's going to happen. There's just so much like difference between all the conferences. It's I don't know why they let them all pick their own deal cuz now it's just a mess.
Yeah, they relied so much on these, like you said, the conferences just to decide, hey, this is best for our current situation. Well, that's great, but what's going to happen when you have to play somebody outside of your conference if you do a playoff scenario?
Right.
Um, I think if anything, it should end at the conference level. I mean, do conference championship games maybe if you want, but then it should be done with that. I mean, um,
Just do
Missouri just had to
BCS like you
cancel
used
their
to
game
do.
with Georgia. There's about seven other games or so that had to postpone. You know, it's just
SEC
more and
started
more
late
each
too,
week.
right?
The SEC, yeah, they were
Yeah.
like the first major conference to come back.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think that it's just the way that they did it, they don't have enough wiggle room in the season anymore. And you
Yeah,
can't just randomly extend the season because
no,
you need these, I'm sure that they have places booked for I'm sure you have Jerry World booked for a certain time for, one playoff game. And if you have to move it back 2 months, like who knows what that could do to, whatever else is supposed to be there. So
yeah, no, and I think too, you know, the students have to be really held accountable too, like the student fans. That Notre Dame debacle was a travesty.
pure idiots. Like,
Like, I mean, what are you doing? I get it. I get it's exciting. I get you pulled off this crazy, awesome win.
yeah,
Not
the
really
thing
even
is,
an
like,
upset, but
yeah,
a good win.
you're number four and they're number one, and they didn't have the best quarterback in college football. Like,
But it was a close
what
game,
are we
so I
doing?
get like emotions
Yeah,
are high. But like, dude, you know there's a global pandemic. You know how you know? You're all wearing masks.
yeah,
Like the people that are like, I forgot in the moment. Oh, really? You just forgot that there's a global pandemic? You didn't wonder why the whole stadium isn't filled with crazy cheering fans? Like,
yeah. And I
That's
think
so dumb.
that's the other thing too with college football and college basketball possibly coming back is you have to understand that these like when you have NFL games, no one ever storms the field in an NFL game no matter what. Because
Mhm.
it's a professional game, they're professional athletes, there's security, you're not going to do it. Like at the college level, these
It
are
always happens.
18 to 21-year-old kids. They're not thinking in any type like they don't care
No.
about the whole deal. Like, so the fact that you're even allowing any fans at a college game one is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then to trust these players to not be going out every Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like you're trusting these guys. That's what's happening. Like
Yeah.
these teams aren't just getting it randomly.
Right. Oh,
They're
absolutely not.
they're
Yeah, it's not
18 to
just a pyramid.
21-year-old kids going out to parties, getting,
Yep.
hammered, making
Yep.
out with 3 random girls and then getting freaking COVID. Like it's what's happening. So I think it was a stupid
Was it
idea.
girl 1, 2, or 3?
But like if you weren't going to quarantine, if you weren't going to bubble your players and literally have like separate classes for them and like they're going to do all online,
and that's
players'
not
dorms.
sustainable. Like that's just not sustainable
No.
in any sense.
And you're not
Because
gonna
how do you bubble them from the other teams in the conference? You still have to travel, to Florida, Georgia, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so I went to the Missouri-Kentucky game a few weeks ago, and I got to say, I was really impressed with how Mizzou's handling it in the stadium. Everybody really was listening. They all had their masks on. They were really distanced. The only thing that could be a problem, like they have that big hill where you can sit on too. And like if a big play happens, students are going to run onto that hill. But it honestly wasn't that bad. A lot of the kids stayed in they had spray painted boxes. But like, I think, again, it's unsustainable in the fact that you can't expect every school to get it right. And you can't expect every student body to be there in that moment. Like the game against LSU with Mizzou, they did not do a good job of staying separated. So it's like, it can't be, 1 week we did it really well. And then the other week we really did terrible.
Yeah.
It's got to be
especially
all the way
when
around.
it's clearly spiking in almost every state.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
And then the universities aren't going to be strong enough on
they want the money.
like the crackdown. Exactly. Because the kids are paying for tickets. Why would they ever say you can't come back to a game, which is what they should have done.
It's the same reason why any university that like went completely virtual, they did it after the students already had to pay their tuition and couldn't get a refund.
Oh, you know what? It's probably for the best interest of everyone.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just going to take my money and we're going to do it. Like Mizzou for the 8 millionth time went back and now the students are not coming back after Thanksgiving break. It's like, okay, whatever. Why couldn't we have made this decision a while ago and just stuck with it and just been like, even if it's still good, let's just do this because it's COVID. It's not gone yet.
Yeah, it's the money deal. No one wanted to be the person that's like, hey, let's take a sixth of our tuition from every kid and give it back to them. Like,
not happening.
So let's just wait until 2 weeks before and be like, hey, you're not coming back. Surprise.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, it's kind of awesome until it's like 2 weeks in. They're like, wait a second. Like, didn't I just pay for room and board and everything for the full year?
Yeah. I feel like as we're getting deeper and deeper into the fall and closer to wintertime, it's getting harder and harder to contain this thing. And we're not doing it's just such a double standard. I mean, we're watching the news every day and hearing all these different people talking about, you have to do this, this, and this. I mean, Chicago is now on a stay-at-home order, like the first stay-at-home order given since like the spring. I mean, it's getting worse, and yet we're still like, no, we can play football games. Like, it's not sustainable.
Yeah. No,
so I think they're under immense pressure to kind of can it until the spring.
For sure.
So the NFL, though, I don't think there's much pressure on the NFL at all because they got some weird drugs I'm sure they're giving players.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's easier to contain, though. They're not going out to parties for the most part. If they do. And the thing is, they have more stringent rules as far as like testing every day. They have probably better access to better testing.
Right.
They're, if a player tests positive, he's out for a couple weeks, like Cam Newton. It's not like the stars aren't getting around it. You have a couple stars that have already been out for it. Like,
right.
I think the NFL handles it. They're adults, so they already handle it better. There's more money involved in it.
100%.
And then they're professionals. They're getting paid for it. So if they don't play, like if the kids don't play, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like they lose
Yeah.
their scholarship, maybe, but probably not. Like
Yeah.
the NFL guy doesn't play, it's a problem. So
That's for sure. So, yeah, otherwise, it's been a pretty interesting season so far in college football. With the fact that, you've got, some teams that we expected to be, top 25 contenders, cough, cough, Penn State, who look like one of the worst teams in college football. Things are kind of turned on their head in some of these conferences. What stood out to you since we've last spoke about college football a few weeks ago?
Well, yeah,
Anthony just lost his Madden game.
Oh wait, did he play? Do we play an extra one last
Yeah,
night?
yeah, we did.
So then tell him to stay on because we can jump on after this and we can maybe even get some playoffs in. No, but as far as like surprises from this year, I'd say, like you said, Penn State. That's crazy. They did lose that Journey Brent, like their running back for a while.
Yeah, prayers out to him, man. That sucks. That really sucks.
So I get that. The other one that's been big too has been there's like some weird teams that you don't normally see top 25. Like SMU is one that's been like a weird one to watch. I feel like us starting to bet a lot now. We're watching these random teams like last
Dude,
night.
I hate you, by the way. Let me just get this out there to anybody that watches this. I hate my dear friend and co-host here for getting me on the betting bug here. And now I'm like betting on MAC football, which, by the way, almost screwed me twice this week. But a last gasp prop bet both times saved my evening. So shout out to Western Michigan for one of the craziest finishes in college football this season. That fake spike, Dan Marino was somewhere seeing that highlight going, yeah, someone else did it. But yeah, screw you for taking my money. I blame you.
Yeah, well, it's fun though. It makes watching those games. Actually, it just makes you watch the games.
It makes you watch MAC football.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes watching those games more fun. You weren't watching those games. There's no way. No one was ever watching those. I have an eye on right now of my Boise State
thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I have Boise minus 5.5, so I'm watching that. But
we should add a segment to this podcast on like good or bad bets for the upcoming week.
Or just review how garbage we did Oh my God. Although last weekend, I think I ended up like saving my weekend. I think I lost like $5 or something by the
Ryan's
end of it.
Like the Swami, man. That guy, other than his recent,
he said like the last couple,
but dude, he was winning like F1 races.
Yeah, he was winning all sorts of stuff.
All his parlays. Like he was hitting everything.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know. I thought about it today. I'm like, well, I might as well just like bet on one, like an F1 or like soccer or something.
Whatever he tells me to do, I'll bet on it right now.
Yeah, I was like, I literally don't know anything about any of these. Like, what am I doing?
I know 2 racer names because it's on Bill Burr's podcast because he talks about them. I know nothing about them at all.
Like Nico Rosberg and
Hamilton. Yeah.
And what's his name? There's another one too. Verstappen. Yeah, or something. Yeah. I know that one too because of Bill Burr, but that's it.
Because he says Verstappen.
Yeah. But no, other surprise, Florida. Not that they're surprised, but their quarterback has been like Heisman level. Trask, he's been ridiculous.
Yeah, they kicked the living crap out of us.
People living crap out of a bunch of teams though. Like the Georgia game wasn't particularly close till the end.
No.
They've been
Georgia's been showing some holes in their game.
Yeah, they're pretty much a defense. They have a weird offensive deal going on right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's been Florida's back to prominence, which I think football's better when it is.
I agree.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. But
yeah, no, I agree with what you said there. I think that, sorry, I'm moving my laptop. But I do believe that, again, I'm not sure that even these teams that are in the top 4, I really don't think we're going to get to a college football playoff. I just don't think the pandemic's going to allow that. But if they do, looking at the top 4 teams right now, you've got your Clemson, you've got Notre Dame. I feel like Notre Dame is still kind of iffy situation because that team literally hinges on if Ian Book decides to have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
He looked so good against Clemson. I've got to give him credit where credit was due. He looked really, really good. He took one thing that he's pretty good at is taking care of the football, and he did that really well against a Clemson team that they knew they had a chance to beat without Trevor Lawrence playing. So,
and the thing is with that, he had such a good game, and it's a defense full of 5-star recruits. So it's not like I was more like, I guess I was more cautiously optimistic about the win because I was thinking, well, if that's what it takes for us to beat Clemson, we eke out a win against them. Right. If they have Trevor Lawrence in, do we lose by 15 or, what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Does that add another 2 touchdowns to there? But as far as Ian Book playing against Clemson's defense, which they have studs on defense, and he played really well, I'm pleasantly surprised about that for sure. That's something to come out of the game with a little bit of hope on, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you've got some other teams that are just kind of being extremely surprising. I mean, Liberty's
been good.
Good, man. I mean, they've been averaging like over 35 points.
I think they beat Virginia Tech last week, like outright. They were
38-35.
Yeah, and I think they were like 11-point underdogs or something.
Yeah.
Liberty's been really good.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch some of these teams that you don't really hear about kind of make a name for themselves. Although, who screwed you this past week?
Dude, 2
Coastal?
weeks in a row.
Wasn't it Coastal?
No, so 2 weeks in a row, I have.
Coastal hurt you too.
I added it up, and if 2 teams, it was NFL for sure. Seahawks and Falcons back-to-back weeks lost me $1,300. Literally, they were both my last leg of my parlays, and like literally both of them, I had one that was going to win 750, one that was going to win 500, and all I had to do was for those 2 teams to cover, and they didn't, and I'm just so mad. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think of Coastal's been a fun team to bet. They've treated me well. And they're another one. I think they're like, what are they, 15, I think? Or they might have dropped a little bit. I know they've won last week, but let me see. Coastal. No, they're 15 now. Yeah, the 7-0, 15. They've been a fun team.
Yeah. I mean, and Coastal, I think Coastal, it might have been Ryan that got screwed with Coastal. But Marshall is at number 16. I mean, you've got some teams in here. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns are at 25. Like, it's kind of interesting to see this year.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these teams, you'll normally see 4 or 5 of them in the top 20 every year, where it's like down towards the bottom. But the fact that you do have like a
Indiana at 10,
15, Indiana at 10, like you have some weird teams in the top 25 this year.
You know that they're loving that in Bloomington, man. Indiana is pretty hype right now, but
it'll be but I'm still, if it does get to a playoff, like Ohio State scares the crap out of me for Notre Dame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not gonna be good.
No. So Clemson
there are a number of teams, a number of ranked teams that are not playing this weekend due to postponements in the top 25. Alabama, Ohio State, A&M, Georgia, and Auburn all will not play their games this coming week. But Justin, let's take a look at some of these top 25 matchups. I kind of have them in a haphazard order here, so I'll just read them off. And let me know who you think the winner will be. Number 9, Miami. Well, actually, wait. On Friday, we have one, so let me give that one too. Number 7, Cincinnati is hosting East Carolina. I think Cincinnati takes that game.
Yeah, it's going to be Cincinnati. I've bet against them twice this year, I think, and I lost both. They're a good team.
Mm-hmm. Number 9, Miami at Virginia Tech. Again, Tech had that really struggling bout with Liberty. I think Miami cleans up pretty good here.
Yeah, I'll go Miami. Why am I seeing that Virginia Tech's -2?
Ew.
I'll be betting that. I'm screenshotting this.
Oh, yeah, let me pull it up on my phone. It might be actually better to see.
But yeah, Miami for sure. Do you want me to go?
Hold on one sec. I just want to make sure that I have the right here.
It's so crazy looking at these records too, because you'll see like those first couple games, like Cincinnati 6-0, Miami 6-1, and then it
Mhm.
gets to Indiana, Michigan State, and it's 3-0 versus 1-2, just because of like
Yeah.
where they started the season.
Here we go. This is a much better list. Number 2, Notre Dame and Boston College. Here's the thing. This is an interesting rivalry matchup between these two. I think they play for a specific trophy. So BC, don't
The
take them.
Shillelagh?
The Shillelagh. That's what it
Is
is.
it?
You're right.
No, it's not.
Isn't it? Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it
know.
is.
Maybe I thought that was Michigan's. I don't even remember anymore.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm.
have fun
I'm.
spelling it.
That. Thank God for Google. I just started putting that in there. But I think Notre Dame can win this game, obviously. But it's between them and USC. The jeweled Shillelagh. But Boston College, don't overlook them here, man. I think the ND minus 13.5 is a bit high. I don't think they beat them by that much. So I'm going to go
No.
Notre Dame, but I don't think it. I think it may be by a touchdown.
I think it's a letdown spot too. After the Clemson win,
Yeah.
you come back, you're playing against the team. The plus side of it is that it is a 3:30 game. I could see if it was a night game, us probably losing it just because of the letdown. But I mean, I'll take Notre Dame. I don't think I'll bet Notre Dame though.
No. I don't think I'm going to touch that game at all. Number 10, Indiana at Michigan State. Michigan State's been a very weird team. They end up beating Michigan, but they got trounced by teams like Rutgers and whoever else they played. I'm going to go Indiana here. And I actually like the line there of -7 for IU.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Indiana too. I think they've proven themselves to be at least not completely just like a one-hit wonder. The thing is though, the teams that they're beating, when you look at Penn State, you go, okay, is Penn State, it was a huge win when they won, but now that Penn State's 0-3, is it as big of a win anymore? That's kind of questionable. But I like what's their quarterback's last name?
Indiana's?
Yeah, you know what it is.
Oh yeah, I
Penix
forgot.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's been really solid. He's been just rock hard. Great player.
Versus Rocky Lombardi, what another great name, who has the blondest hair I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I mean, Indiana beat Penn State in overtime, and Penn State's 0-3 now. Is that a big win? Maybe, maybe not. Beat Rutgers beat Michigan State already, right?
Yeah.
And then beat Michigan, who Michigan State beat, but then Rutgers beat Michigan State.
That's why I'm saying it's so confusing. Yeah, it's very confusing.
College football math is not fun.
Which is why I think 7 is a decent one there. Number 15, Coastal Carolina traveling to take on Troy. I'm going with Coastal Carolina here to stay unbeaten. And I would even tease that line, I think, up to -14 for CCU.
Troy, I bet on last week. I watched most of their game. They're not good. I'm going Coastal Carolina. They were hard to watch.
Yeah, they're kind of rough. What do you like? Do you like the line though?
Hold on, I just clicked out. What's the line on it?
11? -11, yeah.
11. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, I think I like 11. I think I do.
Yeah. Mid Tennessee at number 16, Marshall. Marshall, the 24-point favorite here. I'm gonna go with Marshall.
Yep, Marshall. Marshall's really good this year. They've been fun to watch. I don't think I'd touch 24 right now, though.
No, that's pretty high.
Although I've won a lot recently on these big underdogs. Not as much as 24. 24 points is but there's some that you'll get where it's at. I think I had one that was like plus 43 the other day.
Right.
It was Massachusetts, UMass, and Ryan was like, do not take that no matter how many points they're giving UMass. They're a historically bad defense. And I'm like, no, it's not that bad. And they were down 41 and fumbled on the goal line. And It was great. No, it was awesome because I covered, but it was a roller coaster.
Western Carolina at number 22, Liberty. I'm going with Liberty here. It's Western Carolina's first game.
Yep.
The Catamounts.
Yeah, no, I'll go.
And I actually
Liberty
like
there.
Liberty by 32.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I might even take that.
I would play that.
First game. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Liberty.
It could be real bad. Liberty could take whatever the over-under is on this by themselves. Southern Alabama at number 25, Louisiana. I'm going with the Raging Cajuns, but I don't think by 15.5.
Yeah. I'll go with the Raging Cajuns too.
I think South Alabama can play them tough enough though that it's not that big.
I don't think I'll bet that one.
No. Number 20, USC versus Arizona. They struggled against Arizona State last week, I believe it was, and just came back at the very end to win that game. But Arizona coming in with their first game, not really sure what to expect from them. But I'm going to pick USC, but I'm going to say by 7 and not by the 14 that the line says.
Yeah, I'll go USC, but I don't think, like you said, I think it'll be close.
Yeah. In fact, I think I'd take like Arizona at like plus 7.5.
I mean, plus 14 even.
Yeah, that's true.
At that point, just take the 14.
Yeah. Arkansas and Florida, number 6 Florida, that is. Arkansas has played some pretty decent football this season, but there's just a world of difference between both those squads. So I think Florida, and I don't hate the 17.5 there.
No, I mean, Arkansas got crushed by Georgia, beat a Mississippi State team that beat an LSU team that we thought was great. In week 1, lost to Auburn, beats Ole Miss, who's good, lost to Texas A&M. So they're like all up and down. That's what I was doing there. Up and down.
Right.
Arkansas, coming off a win against Tennessee, good win against Tennessee, back to Florida. I think they're going to get smacked around.
Yeah, especially in the swamp. No way.
I think it's going to be 3 scores or more.
Number 11, Oregon at Washington State. This is always a fun game, no matter who's ranked higher. So I think Oregon, and I actually do like the fact that it's by 10. I think that shows that it's going to be a battle, but it's not going to be a runaway.
Yeah, no, I'm going Oregon too. They looked really good last week. I know it's just one game, but they're looking fast. I was going to say fast, like Oregon ever isn't fast, but
yeah,
they put it on
speedy.
Stanford.
Yeah. Also, still some of the coolest uniforms in football. The fact that that's got to be so cool for those players to be like, we're the Nike prototype school. So we get a new jersey every week.
Yeah.
Like what? Can you imagine after they graduate, if they've played all 4 years, their closet of like all these different jerseys?
Yeah.
Number 19, SMU at Tulsa. I'm going to go with the Mustangs here. Although they showed a little bit of struggle early on against Temple last week. They did rally and Temple kind of showed us fly their Temple, but I'm going to go with SMU here, but they do have Tulsa as the favorite by 2.5, but I'm going with SMU.
I'll go SMU, and whatever the over is here, probably take it.
Yeah.
Tulsa,
I don't like the line though.
What do we got? +2 or -2 for Tulsa?
Tulsa -2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably take SMU outright. But they're putting up. I think the lowest they've put up this year. I'm pretty sure it was in the 40s. Let me look here. 30. Lowest they put up was 30 against Memphis, but otherwise they've had a 65-point game, a 50-point game, a bunch
Tulsa,
in the 40s.
Tulsa's had 34, 42, and 34.
Yep. Yeah, Tulsa's electric. Their offense is really good. The other thing is Tulsa's defense is kind of garbage. So I think this is
true. They did beat number 11 Central Florida. So when they were number 11.
Yeah, Tulsa's no joke. Offensively, defensively, they are, and same thing with SMU. So I think that could be
take that over. Yeah. Number 13, Wisconsin at Michigan. Dude, I think this is the last year for Harbaugh. I don't know what the heck's going on in Michigan, but I think it's time for him to go. I think Wisconsin comes in here and takes one, and I think it's by 7 or more, not by 4.5. Michigan's just looks so defeated. It's crazy.
Yep. My thought is Michigan night game playing a ranked opponent. Don't care that it's at home, they lose.
Yeah.
If it's Harbaugh era, they're playing a ranked opponent. It's at night. They're not going to win.
Yeah. And finally, number 23, Northwestern at Purdue. This will actually be a fun game. These two teams have been playing well this season. They've got Northwestern by 2.5, and I think it can definitely be that close. But I'm actually going to go with Purdue here. I think Purdue can win this football game and beat the ranked Northwestern here. It's a home game. Purdue plays well at home. And I think it could be Purdue by 3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Northwestern on this one. They've had an impressive win. The only thing I was looking at the schedule here, like Purdue was supposed to play Wisconsin this past weekend, I guess it would have been. And obviously that game was postponed for COVID. They've had close wins. They're 2 wins of the season. The only thing that sticks out to me between either of these two teams is the smacking that Northwestern put on Maryland, who I think we're finding out is a decent team with Tua's brother as the quarterback. So,
dude, he's legit.
He's good.
He's real good, man. Something in the water in that family, man. He's very good. So yeah, no, pretty interesting slate this week. Different slate this weekend for sure for betting. So good luck to all you sports bettors out there. This is going to be a tough one, I think.
I'm already mad. I say that every week. I say on like Wednesday, I'm like, boys, love the board this week. It's going to be great. And then literally before the game start on Saturday, I'm looking at my parlays and my
boys hate the board this
week. I'm like, hate every bet I've ever made. And then naturally, all the 12 o'clock games, I don't know if I've had one bet that I've lost in like the beginning games. So I'm like, sweet, cashing out. All my parlays are looking good. Awesome. And then it gets to 3:30 and I'm just like, okay, like, just losing left and right. But
well, let's go ahead and jump into our NFL picks here before our last things last. Just real quick on the season so far. Things have been rolling around. I mean, COVID's been impacting some teams, but not to the degree in which it's been catastrophic. I'll tell you what, the New Orleans Saints, after that blowout against Tampa Bay, 1, they exposed Tom Brady a bit, and 2, they showed that Drew Brees can still sling the rock like crazy.
They're the only team.
The Saints are so good, dude.
Saints are the only team to make Tom Brady and the Buccaneers look bad this year.
Yeah.
Bucs slaughtered the Packers. They've looked really good most games this season. The 2 games
they've
looked terrible.
Yeah. And then 8-0, baby. 8-0. Don't care what
Fake
you
news.
say. Don't care how they win. Don't care what the score is. All that matters is at the end of it, all that matters is that the Steelers are on top, and they are 8-0. They are the only unbeaten team in football. You got to respect it no matter what. They are on top. Here's the thing, man. I'm going to say this once. This team can win the Super Bowl if they get out of their own way and stop playing completely sloppy football. They are not going to skate by every game. I guarantee you they won't skate by the Ravens a second time.
I think they'll skate by most games in the regular season, maybe the Ravens again. But I think once it gets to playoff time, you can't play like this.
You can't play sloppy,
I don't think they've played it. I think that's the only reason I'm calling them fake news.
They haven't played a complete game.
A lot of these teams, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Broncos, like all these teams that just suck. Like they haven't played a complete game.
And I mean, dude, as a Steelers fan, we expect this. They just for some reason never play up to their worst opponents. I don't know why.
But I think
it's annoying.
If it's going to be a Super Bowl year, I don't think you can play down to opponent. You know
I agree. I totally agree.
Because if it is like every other year, then they're going to make a splash. They'll probably make, obviously they'll be in the second round of the playoffs just with a bye at this point.
And I think they're finally realizing that. Like, I give Mike Tomlin a lot of flack for the lack of discipline at times. But one thing that I'll give him credit for, which is something he said in the presser this week, he said, you know what? Yeah, we're 8-0, but if we continue to play sloppy football like this, we're going to get bounced in the first round. It's going to happen.
For sure.
So they recognize it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so the Colts and Titans are currently happening right now. The Titans are up 10-3, but they were my pick before this game. So that's who I'm rolling with.
Yeah, I think I probably would have went with the Colts, so I'll just say Colts. I don't like these two teams. You texted me tonight or today, like before the games, and we're like, what do you think about blank, blank, blank? And I'm like, I hate both these, like, not team-wise, just like betting-wise. I don't think I've bet on the Titans or Indy either games or any of their games this year because I'm just afraid of them.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because Rivers could throw for 404 touchdowns or throw for 104 picks. It's just like there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Bengals at Steelers. The 2-5-1 Bengals coming to Heinz Field for the undefeated Steelers. And I think that the line of 7 is strong for Pittsburgh because this is going to be a battle. Joe Burrow is confident that the Bengals can bring an upset in here. I'm not going to overlook them, and I think the Steelers shouldn't either. So there are some players on the COVID restriction list, but Ben, I believe, is going to be cleared to play on Sunday. So that's good news for Pittsburgh because if Mason was playing, I think I'd go with Cincinnati here. But I am taking the Steelers. I am going to take that line, 7 points. I think will be the difference here.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers as well. I don't think this is where they lose. I think that the Steelers have struggled with teams that could run a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Bengals have no offensive line.
No.
And this is the kind of team that the Steelers can eat alive.
I think Burrow's going to get beat up a little bit in this game too.
Yeah. Texans at Browns. I'm going to go with the Browns here, but it does have Cleveland by 3. I think it can be more than that. However, Cleveland is known for a letdown game. So.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think it's such a. I don't know if I'll bet this one either. It's a weird game. I can see either team winning. I think I'll go Texans here. Just why not? But yeah, I don't think the Browns are 5-3 good. No. It's weird. Like I don't know what they are.
The Washington football team and the Lions. Gross.
Won't not touch this either.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Games. I'm actually going to go Washington here, though. I think Alex Smith might be able to give them a nice boost here, and Matt Stafford's not looked great of late.
I think I'm going Lions just because I don't like the football team, Skins, whatever they are. They're just not great.
No one in that division is.
Nope.
The Jaguars at the Packers. Packers for sure, by a lot. I like the line of 13.5 as well.
Yep, Packers and 13.5 is more than enough.
Eagles at Giants. The line here is the Eagles by 3.5. I'm actually going to go with New York here since New York's at home. And New York has had some really close fights this year.
Including against the Eagles.
Yeah, I think they have enough to turn the tide here and take one from Philly. They usually do anyway.
I'm going Eagles here only because coming off a bye week, they're getting much healthier. I think, let me just pull up here.
A lot of people are active in practice.
Yeah, Ryan sent it here. So we have Miles Sanders, Jason Peters, Alshon Jeffrey, Malik Jackson, Cravon LeBlanc, two offensive linemen coming back, Fletcher Cox coming back. So we have like as healthy of a lineup as we've had in a long time here. I'm thinking that the Eagles probably by 7 or more.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, the health thing is definitely huge. I mean, Philadelphia's been plagued for, I feel like the last 8 years with health problems.
I mean, the possibility though is that they come back and they're not all together because
they haven't worked out.
They haven't worked together.
Yeah. The Bucks and the Panthers. Bucks are reeling, I think, after that loss. I think they had a nice gut check moment. And the Panthers have shown that they are not a team to be messed with, man. They took Kansas City down to the wire. The line is Tampa Bay by 5.5. Oh, man. Is McCaffrey, is he hurt again?
Yeah, they said that there's like pretty much no chance he plays this week.
Okay, well then Bucks.
Yeah, I think it's the Bucks too.
I think I would roll with Carolina with a healthy C-Mac though.
Maybe.
Broncos Raiders, Vegas by 4.5 says the sports book. I'm going with the Raiders.
Raiders as
Prudent
well.
grinders. Yeah.
It's crazy how up and down they've been. They beat the Chiefs like they were
I
looking
feel like they could
like
be
world
such a good
beaters.
team.
Yeah. I
I
mean, we're
always
still
feel, dude, I always feel every year like Derek Carr's a good quarterback. And
and
then he just like has some games that I'm like, dude, really?
we're like 3 years removed from Derek Carr possible MVP season,
Yeah.
14-2
I
Raiders.
had him in fantasy that year. I was like, what?
Not a lot changed, honestly, like as
Yeah.
far as roster construction wise between
Solid.
those 2 years. But yeah, it's weird. Like they beat the Chiefs and then got smacked by the Bucks. Like they're such a weird team.
Yeah. Chargers at Dolphins. I'm going with the Finns, man. I like this team. Tua's looking good. He seems to be a decent game manager at the moment. So we'll see if he can continue that. But things are going to get tougher down the stretch here. And we're going to kind of see how he develops as the season moves on. But I like the Dolphins right now, man. They're playing good football. Brian Flores deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
1.5, though, is kind of a weird line.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Chargers. I thought that what's his face was on in the injury report, Herbert, but I don't think he is. So I'm
think
gonna
he's
go
playing.
Chargers. I think Herbert versus Tua. I think Herbert's gonna win that one.
Yeah, battle of two really good rookie quarterbacks. Bills at Cardinals. Cardinals have dropped a couple weird ones. And the Buffalo Bills, man, circle the wagons. They've been playing good football. Josh Allen, you should kind of, I mean, I haven't really checked out his stats, but just from the eye test, I mean, possible MVP candidate. I mean, this kid's playing great football. So I'm going Buffalo here.
I just don't know. Buffalo had a really good game. I don't know. I'm going to go Buffalo. The Cardinals defense is so bad. Like they've just been giving up all the points.
I mean, that loss to Miami was pretty ugly.
Yeah, lost to Miami. They played it close with like the Lions, the not Redskins. I keep wanting to say it. The football team. Yeah, I think I'm going to go.
And I mean, the Bills beating Seattle as well as they did, I think that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Speaking of Seattle, the Seahawks are going to take on the Rams. The Rams are the favorite by 1.5. I'm going with Seattle, though. I think Seattle's better in this matchup. I think when you have a quarterback like Russ, Aaron Donald doesn't play as much of a factor because Russ can get out of the pocket. So I'm going with Seattle here.
Yeah, bounce back game for Seattle, I think.
49ers at the Saints. I think the Saints continue their dominance here. I like the line of 9.5 as well.
Yeah, no, we'll go Saints. I always think there's something weird about the 49ers where I'm like,
there's a lot weird about the 49ers.
Could they come back? Could they make it a really close game? But I think Saints are going to continue to roll.
Ravens at Patriots. Man, if you would go back 4 or 5 years, this would be a great game. But not really right now. Cam Newton's been not controlling the ball well. Patriots have not had a really good offensive game plan, it seems. They just kind of seem like they're, scratching it at nothing here. So I'm going to go with Baltimore. I think the line of 7 is good, but I also could see them winning by more.
Yeah, I'm going to go Baltimore as well. The Patriots, I mean, while they did look decent on Monday night, they also played the Jets. So what are you going to do? I think
they struggled a bit against them.
Yeah, they struggled against the
Joe Flacco looked like Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco.
Yeah, they needed some luck at the end there to win.
Yeah.
So,
and finally on Monday Night Football, the Vikings and the Bears. Nice rivalry game here. I'm going with the Bears though.
Bears or no. JK. Vikings. Dalvin Cook's been ridiculous.
The line is Vikings by 2.5. I like this Bears defense more than I like the Vikings offense. And I always think Kirk Cousins is good for a few picks. So,
true. And BDN.
Yeah.
In prime time.
That's true. In Soldier Field, man. He can sling the rock in that moment.
Double doink.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's text Anthony and see if we can get some of our Madden stuff in here. We are nearing the playoffs of our second season in this round of Madden that we're doing. Right? Are we in our second?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, second season.
Because who won the
So,
Super Bowl the first season?
What's that?
I forget who won the Super Bowl the first season. Oh, it was
You.
me. Wait, who won the other 2 Super Bowls in the last? Oh.
Justin's been doing well, but that's all right. His time at the top is coming to an end at some point.
And
So
2 of the 3 Super Bowls I won should not have been won. The one against you, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have won it. And the one against Anthony, I won with Chase Daniel.
I'm so mad, dude. I played prevent defense and then just got burnt. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Peace out. We will see you same time, same date next week, no matter who's here. Could just be me, could just be Justin, could be all 3 of us. We have no idea. But
Definitely won't be
we will
just
here.
MJ because he'll be on a light walk or
Yeah.
a night walk or
You
whatever.
know what? We'll just we'll text MJ at the last minute and be like, "Hey, Justin and I are taking a light walk
A brisk stroll.
virtually
Yeah.
in different states."
Yeah. What was
All right, brother. Let's hop on Madden. See you
Later.
later, guys.
Wow, great. I guess we're